Good evening, this is the Nerdistic Human, and welcome to our AI-only historical battles, but this time you join me on Medieval II Total War. And this is potentially going to be even tougher than the previous episodes we've had on Rome, because there is no difficulty option on Medieval II, so when we throw the AI into battle against themselves, they are probably going to suffer. I'm assuming that the game is set on very hard for these historical battles. They certainly aim to be ridiculously tough in Rome. We'll see how the AI do here on this one, but of course when we look at historical battles we do like to take a little look at the history. Obviously following this episode, much like Rome Total War, I will follow it with a general cam version of the battle where I play just from the general's point of view, so that'll be coming out on the Thursday, but for now we're going to have a little look at the history. We begin with the Battle of Hastings in 1066 AD, and this is truly a seminal battle in England's history. It is a classic if ever there was one to begin with, and you ask anybody on the streets of England today, even if they knew almost nothing about history, they could tell you the date of this battle. The Battle of Hastings, 1066 AD. Now, this battle was really the birth of England in many people's minds. Now, to be fair, there is this sense of the English before this battle here. Of course, we are going to see the Saxons on top of the hill here, the Anglo-Saxons, where the name English will come from. But the English have always been a strange bastardised kind of people, whereas, say, the Welsh, for example, are more of the native British folk. In terms of the English, they are the weird mix of all those Anglo-Saxons, Jutes, and everyone else who came along and kind of muddies the genetic pool. So, yeah, the English are a strange beast. It's hard to say, really, when nations exist and when they don't. But certainly after the Norman invasion, that, you can truly say, is English history. English, to me, is really this blend with the Normans here. And yes, the Normans obviously carrying the great three lions on their shirt. But the Battle of Hastings is certainly one that we want to look a bit of the history in as well, and while it is very important, we should probably get a bit more of the details. Shortly after the beginning of the year 1066, King Harold Godwinson sat uneasily on the throne of England. As well as the political machinations of various powerful families within the realm, political leaders on the continent, particularly in Denmark and Normandy, also had designs on the crown. Harold's predecessor, Edward the Confessor, had been a sympathiser of William, Duke of Normandy. Harold himself had been rescued from captivity in France by the Duke and had subsequently sworn fealty to him. These two factors, coupled with support from the papacy, gave Duke William reason to believe that when the childless Edward died, the crown of England would be his. However, amidst rumours of strong-arm tactics, Harold was crowned king on January 6, 1066, the day of Edward's death. And that is quite a striking move to make. Often kings were actually crowned months later. This is a bold move and probably irked Duke William an awful lot. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that Harold didn't really have a straight claim to the throne. He was the Duke of Wessex and basically the most powerful man in England. So at this particular time, it was easy for him to just go and grab the crown for himself. But unfortunately, this was obviously going to cause a few problems. Outraged, William began to prepare an army and an invasion fleet to take by force the kingdom that he maintained was his by right. In the meantime, Harold was busy dealing with other threats to the realm. His brother Tostig joined in King Harald Hardrada of Norway in a concerted attack against York in the early times of autumn 1066. Harold marched the 190 miles from Wessex to York in 5 days to defeat the invaders. Duke William's Norman fleet landed shortly afterwards on the south coast. Harold set off on another forced march southwards to challenge the new invaders. On the morning of the 14th of October 1066, the two armies clashed on the Sutlach sandy stream ridge near the present-day town of Battle in East Sussex. The subsequent battle and the seismic effect it was about to have on the Kingdom of England led to the Normans to Reichslichen, the site of Senlac Ridge, or the Blood Lake. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting quite so many Germanic, probably Anglo-Saxon phrases there at the end, but hey-ho, hopefully didn't completely butcher those pronunciations. It's fine, you probably can't tell me how something was pronounced 1,000 years ago. So, what do we have on our army? We have Duke William, who is actually a cavalry unit in spite of the little icon there. A load of mailed knights and armoured sergeants here. Now, realistically, this army would probably be more elite than this. They were seasoned warriors, and to be honest, to some extent we're being given slightly weakened forces to represent the fact that we are going to have a tough battle against the Saxons here on the ridge. Nonetheless, we do have ourselves some archers, which is a tactical advantage over them because they have no cav and they have no archers whatsoever. It's all infantry. King Harold himself, a few Earl's Huskarls, which are representing his brothers, I would assume, and then a few of his elite Huskarls who are scattered across his line with all of these Thanes that were probably more like militia and some basic lads being called up, to be honest. But hey ho, we're going to fight the tough old Thanes here, and we're going to see how the AI do, and I'm not feeling too confident.
October the 14th, 1066, Caldbeck Hill, north of Hastings in England. This land is ruled by King Harold Godwinson, the latest in a line of Anglo-Saxon kings. But Duke William of Normandy has a claim to the throne too. Years ago, Harold is said to have sworn to help the Duke to the throne of England, but he has failed to honor his oath, and now he rules as king. But the throne on which Harold sits is not a comfortable one, and Duke William's invasion is fortunately timed. Even now, Harold marches south from battle at Stamford Bridge near York, having crushed another invasion led by Harold Hardrada of Norway. Duke William was able to land unopposed, but now his scouts report that Harold's army is in sight and has formed a shield wall on a ridge crossing the Norman's Road. The position is a strong one, at the top of a gentle slope flanked by marshy ground, and the enemy appear happy to let the Normans come to them. The Duke has come well prepared for battle, and has many war-hardened infantry and horsemen. But if his men cannot overcome the enemy shield wall, they will have little choice but to negotiate terms or starve. Duke William of Normandy is no stranger to war, though. He knows that if there is no way around or through Harold's shield wall, he will have to find a way to pick it apart. The Anglo-Saxons are known for their fearlessness in battle, but perhaps William can use this to lure them from their position so that his horsemen can finish them off. The two forces are evenly balanced, but there are only two paths from this place for Duke William: to the grave or through the shield wall and onwards to the throne of England.
Immediately our troops have for some reason decided to go wonky before I've even pressed the AI assistance button, so there we are. We're going to set them onto AI only and we're going to see what they do. Right, so we have ourselves William himself over here. Hello, sir. And what are we going to do? So we're going to see not too dissimilar to the real battle here. A bit of skirmishing from the archers, but a big charge from the cavalry into the Earl. That could be brutal. They're going to clip the Thanes as well, but oof. They've knocked out half of those Earl Huskarls immediately, probably at the expense of themselves. Yes. Is that worth it? I mean, not a bad start. Have they done the same on the other flank? No. Okay. Well, taking out the Earl's Huskarls would be a decent move, but they didn't quite manage it. A big hit, though, that might do them good in the long run, particularly if they can pull the English off the hill, which is exactly what happened historically, of course. So, right, as they wander off the hill, they're going to get themselves charged down, probably by the male knights. This is a bit early, guys. They've clearly been studying their history books because this is exactly what the issue was here eventually. Well, if you don't know the proper history, basically this ridge here is obviously a very, very good defensive position and a big chunky shield wall of very well shielded guys is going to be quite hard to push up against. And basically, yeah, the Normans would fail with attack after attack to actually penetrate this line, but eventually some guys would decide to push forward and then they get themselves routed, and this is kind of what's actually happening. I think we're on the opposite flank to where this happened, yeah, because it was the Brittany troops, was it not, who came up on this flank here and then fell back, which somehow led to this very, very amusing tactic. Otherwise, though, you've got a little bit of a skirmish in general. Archers taking their shots, which is kind of what you'd expect. They're not, though, shooting uphill. Basic peasant archers, well, archer militia, against some decent units here. They're not really going to achieve very much. Meanwhile, the Thanes, who actually got themselves way out of position, are, though, just taking on some mailed knights. They failed to really take them out with a charge, which means they're probably now going to get stabbed by the spearmen. There we are. Let's go and follow these mailed knights into the charge. And is that the Earl again? Yes, it is. A second charge on the Earl. But once again, they're probably just going to start clipping these Thanes. They can just break that Earl Huskarl. They'll be looking okay, but I don't want to waste too much cavalry on this. Now, obviously, whenever we do this, I do have a little think about how I'm going to play as the general afterwards from this position. Now, trying to be too clever with the flanks might not be sensible, because we do generally find playing as the general that, yeah, trying to micromanage is not a good idea. Now, part of the feature of this battle was there was this ridge here between the forest and the swampy land. They're pretty much forced to go head on. Oh! Saxons are charging down the hill. Well. At least they're charging together, but they are giving up their advantage here. Now, actually, in this particular version of events, to be honest, a straight charge makes sense for the Saxons because they've actually got the better troops. Yeah, my Normans are really going to struggle in this situation. At the very least, what it might do is equalise the hill a little bit and allow some of the cavalry charges to do some filthy work. But I will just make sure these guys get back into the group again. Good. Okay, I can see the good old St. George's flag here. By Jove. And yes, that'll be Duke William himself, who is actually in battle here with the Thanes. Interesting. So yeah, this is very much breaking with how the history went to some extent. We just got ourselves a massive scrum here. But how's this going to go? Now, one thing you probably could do, if you want to micromanage a little bit, is get these archers around the flank. Because in Medieval II Total War, yeah, the flanking shots into these troops is normally where they're weakest, particularly if they're peasants on this flank over here. The archers could do some very good work. But again, when I'm doing the general's point of view, that's going to be hard to manage. Fine. This is not going too well for the Normans, except, oh, look at this. Few cavalry in this flank. If you can hit these guys hard enough, that doesn't look like a great charge. Okay, they're steady. Steady. They've just got too much morale, these guys. They're pretty darn solid spearmen. They're definitely better than the armoured sergeants, I would say. So, how actually do we look, by the way? 8-3-15, bonus versus cavalry. And as for these Thanes, 11-4-15. So, okay. Yeah, a little bit more attack, but actually same on the defence. Don't know the morale from that particular screen, but I feel like the Thanes have high morale. Can't remember off the top of my head. So in comes more cavalry charges. Duke William himself is ploughing through the centre, and is he going to hit? Where is Kingy? There's King Harold. Okay, William is in the thick of it now, and Harold is just over there. Now, this is kind of how it ended in real life eventually, when, yeah, some of them lost their discipline and started coming down the hill. More gaps got opened, and eventually it meant that the line got weaker. Eventually King Harold had to throw himself in. And there's King Harold. Not quite sure why we got the Silver Surfer bug. I mucked around with this faction a long time ago. Clearly he never fixed it. It's fine. Not really an issue. But yeah, eventually it is said that King Harold took an arrow to the eye, although it is a little bit debated, but that's always the story. Even look at the Bayeux Tapestry, which I believe you can still go and view in Bayeux, which is Normandy. It's not actually in England. Oh, unit routing, okay. Oh, mass rout from the infantry. But yeah, apparently he got hit in the eye and then chopped to pieces. He probably just got chopped to pieces. I'm not sure that the eye story is necessarily true. But a key part of the story that probably is true based on what we hear is that there was a point where they thought Duke William had died, so he took his helmet off, galloped around all of his men. William, gallop around your men. Show them your face. Show them you are still alive. Oh, you see, these guys can see his face from all the way back there. Come on, rejoin the battle, sirs. Rejoin the battle. Yep, William is alive, although he's not going to be alive for very long. At this rate, he is currently very much surrounded by spears. This is not going to be possible for the AI, is it? I mean, the Saxons are given such stronger units in this in order to win. I think the prologue version of this battle, it must be slightly different units, because I feel like obviously it's set up for you to win as the Normans, but oh, down goes Duke William. It didn't actually give us the little video there. That's unfortunate. An instant mass rout. I mean, there's nothing left to fight for at that stage, is it? Men loss is pretty equal. But King Harold brought a lot more men. I wonder if we can do anything to change that. Usually what we do on these, in case this is your first time here, we normally, we'll change around the difficulty, potentially. But what I normally do is try and give a little bit of instruction. Maybe just positioning. Not much more than that, but there we are. Here are the stats in case you're interested in it. Duke William did inflict a few, but that's not enough for General's cavalry, really, is it? Armoured sergeants inflicting a fair amount over here. They might have just been taken on peasants, though. A miserable, miserable failure. As we begin the second time round then, I'm going to just take control of this initial charge here. So I'm going to get the cavalry on the two flanks to do the same as last time, but I'm going to do it both at the exact same time. And I'm going to send in a second unit immediately afterwards just to plough into them. So smash into them. I feel like we're on 2. We are indeed. And actually the commentator's actually talking about Harold's brothers here. So there we are. So that wasn't even as good a charge as last time, actually. Let's see if you can get a good hit on. Okay, not particularly great. Get them out of there, right. Not the ideal start. Not the ideal start. These guys need to pull out as well. Well done, guys. Did we actually manage to take out the old Huskell? Not quite. Down to 7. These guys fled. We were trying to avoid the flee, and that guy's down to 7 as well. So they're pretty darn weakened at this stage. I would suggest... what do we want to do then with the rest of this? I would say we are just going to tell them to just shoot at King Harold. Let's just get King Harold shot down. And the rest of them, well, to be honest, the rest of them, they can just go on to auto at this point. We'll just see what they want to do. Yeah, we'll just let them do what they want. Do what you want, lads. I don't know why I missed you. Do what you want, and we'll see if that early charge into those flanks can do anything to help. But sadly, it didn't really do enough. Interesting to try, but they weren't able to take out the Earls on that side. It wouldn't cause a morale break like, in theory, it's supposed to be doing. Because obviously, in the real battle, yeah, the king losing his 2 brothers who were commanding the flanks would be pretty darn bad for morale, of course. But in this, they're not technically commanders of any kind. It's just going to end up the same way as before now with a mass scrum. So, I wonder. Let's just get 1 unit around the flank. All infantry just to go on guard mode, just hold position. I wonder if we can just get someone around the flank and do this, because that might be how we have to do it as the king, by the way. Is just try and use the cavalry, actually get around the flank. There's actually very, very tight space here. They have tried to make it awkward. Like the real battle, obviously. But we're going to see if we can get someone around the back. We'll just see what the rest of them can do. If they can hold position for long enough. So bring him over here. They are actually doing a good job of trying to bring some units around to cover right now. But with the hill gone, where's the king? There's the king. Oh, this cavalry's doing it themselves. Lovely. This is what we need to see. Straight in the back of the Thanes. Oh, there they go. Okay. Excellent stuff. You're in this formation. Get yourself to that. And pray something changes. Well, here's what's going to change. This smash right down the centre. And they are doing a good job of trying to cover this potential charge. But in this goes. Hopefully they're not going to get too distracted. A few of them are distracted. Is this the Thanes? Yes, even the rear of the king's blocked here. Oh dear. Duke William's dead. Not an immediate rout this time, but pretty close to it. Oh, nope. That's it. They're all gone. To be honest, last time I took a lot more control than I normally would for this kind of a battle, so I'm going to try it a little bit more old-fashioned, whereby I just position a few units. So I'm just going to get his cavalry into the flanks, okay? We're just going to move everyone out of the way. I'm going to get the flanks dealt with by our cavalry. I'm going to get them around the back, and then I'm just going to let them do what they want, okay? See if the AI can manage to do it if I at least position their cavalry in a flanking position. The game has given us a really obstructed path here. I don't even know if we can get around, but we're going to try, damn it. So Light Eye is going to do the same over here, and they're just going to gallop at full speed. We've even got ourselves the classic tree on top of the hill here, which is lovely, the rally point for our men. Now, can we get through them? Oh, I think honestly we actually are just forced to charge into them. We actually do just have to plough our way through them. Oh my, that's slightly terrifying, isn't it? Okay, all 3 of you, just get yourselves through. They seem very distracted right now, though. Let's just plough on through. Plough on through. They seem to be moving now. Actually, maybe that's just what we need to do. We just need to get them to move. These peasants are okay. We managed to smash through on this flank. That's good. This flank maybe not so much. Oh no, we seem to be there. Okay, so with everyone now in position, the cavalry half killed. Maybe we can do something. Oh dear, these guys are just trying to push through the peasants. They'll at least get through that position. But you'd like to think, with all of our cavalry, all of it, all whatever of it, up here on this hill, yeah, maybe they can do something. Okay, all of you, go on to AI. Why can't I put them under AI? I don't know why it's not allowing me to AI. Get into group. There we go. Anyway, let's see if the AI can do anything on this occasion, because they're charging back down the hill again. But a few cavalry made it through, and if those cavalry can do something, then who knows? Maybe we'll see something different this time. They're going to plough into the rear, and it doesn't look like they're going to do too much. Yeah, they're just too hurt. But, ooh, brutal. Down goes King Harold with the charge there. And, okay, most of it, wow, that's done it. That's done it. It's just Harold's bodyguard, like the real battle. It's just the last of his bodyguard and a few Huskars who have to hold the ground here. Oh, yeah. Glorious stuff. All right, well, I didn't do the greatest maneuver of all time there, but I certainly got one unit into position to give a killer blow. There's still quite a few fighting here. I don't know that there's enough cav to actually... Yeah, there's no cav to chase them off. Can you win it in the next few seconds before they rally? Who knows? Well, it doesn't look like they're going to rally. It looks like they're being chased off. They're not coming back, are they? Oh, my. And all William has to do now is not die. There are 4 Huskars here. Yeah, the Huskars are sticking around, just like in real life. They're the ones who cover the retreat of all of the lesser soldiers, really. Just the guys, the levies who were called up. These guys will stand and fight to the very last, even though King Harold was slain by a magnificent cavalry charge. That is great. Oh, it's very nice when... Okay, I did a little bit more attacking than I planned to, but physically you can't get around without destroying those units. So, okay, note learned. This is how we're going to win when we do it ourselves anyway, but... Yeah, the AI, with just a bit of positioning, a bit of forced attacking, but a bit of positioning, look like they're actually going to win. Victory and glory. Okay, we actually killed less men than the original battle. In theory, there's still plenty to fight on in London, but no, without their king, I would say this is a great victory for the Normans. Or should I say, the English. Yes, okay, lovely stuff. That was very interesting. I would say, as while I did do a little bit of attacking there, it was fairly minimal. It was simply what we had to do. I don't think there's any other way really of doing this. I've one other idea. Maybe I'll just try that. My alternative to really not get involved in battle at all is simply to move the cavalry into the flanks, but hopefully draw them forward. Now, this way it feels a little bit more legit, and I'll feel a little bit happier about getting involved, although maybe these guys just need to be a little bit further back for that to totally work. Okay, so we've got some in the flanks there. All we need to do now is tease them forward. So, with some archers, just moving forward a little bit. Let's see if we can pull them into a stupid attack. Hilariously, I'm almost in range of King Harold at this point, so we're just going to shoot King Harold down with arrows, which seems like an amusing way of doing all of this. So we're going to see if they want to bother being teased, having me bother to set all of this up. Now they won't bother coming forward. It's like they know it's a trap. But, you know, we'll just shoot down King Harold and maybe something will happen eventually. I'll be honest, King Harold's taking quite a few hits from the arrows here. I mean, they haven't really lost many men yet, but if these hit points start wearing down, King Harold, you know, might just get shot in the eye by an arrow. Well, that'd be absolutely magnificent. Yeah, very, very bloody over here. It just seems to be just a little bit of a gap that we're shooting through. God knows why they're not moving forward. I mean, really, we've done almost no damage. Yeah, 4%. A few of those are the guys in front who are just getting clipped by these. But yeah, there was another unit in front which were already been slaughtered. But yeah, King Harold might just... Ooh, he took that one hard. He might just go down yet. Very sadly, we seem to have run out of arrow, and the idle but fairly bloody King Harold stands there at top of the ridge still, and they're not even teased off the cliff. It's interesting because normally an army would turn if you try and turn around like this, but they refuse to be turned. This is interesting. They absolutely refuse to accept these conditions. And unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to work our way around them at all. We can continue trying, but sadly, this alternative plan doesn't quite look like... Yeah, you can see the obstruction there. Doesn't seem like it's quite going to work. That's a bit of a shame. Fine, I'll just send it on to pure chaos mode, and we'll just see what they decide to do at this point, because, yeah, they're just going to get everyone together. You had a lovely flanking position there, but no, they want to gather all their horses down here at this flank. That's absolutely fine. We'll just see. Do you want to do anything now, guys? Nothing at all. The game does seem very confused about what to do now at this point, but hey-ho, we'll just speed it up. I mean, the Earls shouldn't last very long. There's still a chance they could win simply thanks to the archers, but it's just a massive pile-up. We could, in theory, see the Normans break through this flank and pile on in, but I don't think so. I think we got a glorious victory before, and it's probably largely over on this particular occasion, which is a bit of a sad one. I really wanted to pull them in and try and do the flank, but we saw a victory. We can be pretty proud of that. Might well still have a chance here. The Earl just needs to be just someone slam into the king. You know, I'm just going to get a 1v1. 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 It's not happening. Come on, get on top of it. Kill each other. William died. Well, it was worth another try. I'm sad the archers failed, but we had to give it a go, didn't we? And with that, the AI can claim a victory for our first historical battle in Medieval II. I would say it's probably victory on penalties. It's not an entirely clean one. I'd like it a little bit more, yes, solely on the AI. But you know what? I'll give it to them. I'll give it to them. Which of these battles would you like to see next? Do tell me in the comments below why you'd be interested in that particular battle. I'm not really sure where to begin. I do know we have quite a lot of German and Polish viewers on the channel, so Tannenberg may well be of interest to them. That one's certainly on my list. But as for the others, I don't know. Let me know what you would be interested in seeing. Certainly not as big a selection as in Rome Total War. These ones seem to be a little more guided towards showing you the tactics that were used in the actual battle and trying to make you use them. A bit like in Alexander to some extent, rather than the Rome Total War style of just see how you can handle it, sir. So we will see more of these in the future. Do make sure on Thursday to join in for the General's point of view. We'll see how all of that goes. That one is always good fun. But this one's a fairly set position, so I reckon we'll be able to win that. But for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas, this is Timelapse the Human, and this has been Medieval II Total War with an AI-only historical battle. Thank you, and bye-bye. Suffice to say, I could be doing a better job of, you know, not burning down my own city. Ho, ho, ho! That's the kind of hit we won. Let it not be said that our Emperor doesn't lead from the very front to hack down the peasants. This is about to go horrendously wrong. It's absolutely fine. It just gives these guys a reminder to maybe aim better next time.